Good to have you with us. I was hearkening back this week to 12 years ago, living in Jerusalem with our entire staff there and filming in Israel out in the heat of the desert, the rigors of being there month after month and doing a very difficult job. Living in Israel is a joy, but you know, sometimes the work is very taxing, and we had to keep our team in top physical health. It was at that time someone brought over the book by Jordan Rubin, his first book, I believe, is Patient Heal Thyself, and an excellent book, very inspiring, but then we got in the mail a package of VHS cassettes. You remember those? You know, right after 8-track, it was like VHS cassettes. And it was Lessons for Healthy Living, done by Drs. Jeff and Andrea Hazim. And that set a foundation, a framework of how we were going to feed and how we were going to live and keep everyone in top physical condition. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now, all these years later, we are going to be doing now Lessons for Healthy Living 2.0, and to introduce the seminar that's going to be coming up and the two-day event here in the Aviv Moon Studios is Chaim, not a Dr. Goldman. Hi.
Well, this is really, really exciting for us. We moved up here, Biblical Health TV moved up here about 5 months ago, and we've been working and doing different projects, but this is our first really big project. And Biblical Health TV, for those of you who don't know, is a website. It's an internet television network to bring experts who are all believers and expert in their field, body, soul, and spirit, not just physical health, but financial health and relationship health. And if you don't already go there, you really need to, when you're not here watching the show or on roodawakening.tv, you should be over at biblicalhealth.tv in order to get that sanctification process, that part between when you have your salvation and either you die, Yeshua comes back, and we're going to be justified, or we're going to be exalted. We have this sanctification process, this cleaning up process, this holiness process, and that's what it's about. And Lessons for Healthy Living started Biblical Health TV because when we started about 4 years ago, I went to Dr. Jeff and Andrea and said, what do we got? And they said, well, we have this. I said, let's put it on the web. And we said, should we do it? Can we do it to a secular audience? So we thought we were going to go out to a secular audience. And they said, sure. And he sent me the tapes. I watched it. He's quoting scripture every couple of minutes. I said, biblical health is so much a part of you, you don't even realize it. I said, we need to just bring you and all the other experts, people that we know who are believers, to the believer market, to the church. They need to get healthy. We need to focus on them and be a light and get cleaned up.
That's right.
And so we're going to be doing now Lessons for Healthy Living 2.0 conference, 2-day conference here at the studio on HD on Tuesday and Wednesday, July 30th and 31st.
And so we have a limited number of seats that are going to be available because this is going to be a live filming. Right. And we're going to be doing the meals and all.
Right, and 30 people in the studio, but unlimited around the world. And we have a whole website set up for that we'll get to. But I want to bring on the instructors of Lessons for Healthy Living 2.0, and that is Drs. Jeff and Andrea Hazim from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Dr. Jeff and Andrea. You there? Hey.
There they are.
They have you on video from your kitchen. Shabbat
Shalom. Goodness, it must be freezing down there. They're wearing earmuffs.
We can't hear them.
Oh,
there they are.
Hi. Can you hear us?
People have seen people on Biblical Health TV know you. I don't know that people that are especially new to Shabbat Light Live do. Please give us a little bit of background on yourself and the history of how you did Lessons for Healthy Living in the first place.
Well, I've been a practicing chiropractor for over 20 years. I'm not going to give you that many years because the hairs are getting gray. However, been into natural health for probably about 25, 26 years. And I met my beautiful wife, Andrea, on a mission trip in Central America, and one of the first things we talked about was this natural health message, and we realized we were like this.
Yes.
And so we got married, and instantly we started teaching together.
It was the words natural hygiene.
Yes.
I said them, and he couldn't believe I said those two words together.
Which is just really the study of natural living. And we got married, and we started teaching together, and then after a few series of teaching this Lessons for Healthy Living thing, she can tell you the story about how we recorded it.
Oh, it's so funny. And Michael, I didn't know the story of how you came to hear our teachings. with the old VCR tapes in the mail in Israel. So that's nice to know that. I didn't know that background story. Anyway, it was really a God thing. I mean, it was nothing planned. Jeff and I had taught our first seminars together in Georgia when I was still in chiropractic school. They had a knowledge and training center for seniors. So if you're 55 and over, you can come to the school, and different people volunteered to teach classes. And I was teaching flexibility. And when we got married, I said, let's do a seminar together. And that's God's providence. It was our foundation of how we taught. And it was a beautiful teaching kitchen. And we taught these seniors how to get off their meds, how to lose weight, how to feed their grandkids healthy, because that was always the excuse. Oh, but the grandkids come over and we need the ice cream. Remember that? That was our beginning. Then we moved to Florida and opened a practice. And I said, well, really the best way to build a practice is let's do free classes, some health classes. So we had a friend with a clubhouse with a stage. I said, do you think we could use your clubhouse? Sure. Think we could use it 5 weeks in a row? Sure. So that came together, and I'm home making signs on my little printer, taping banners together, flip charts. And then at the last minute, I was in the office and Jeff said, oh, come meet the new patient. And it was this gentleman. What was his name? Do you remember?
Blade.
Blade. He was an AV guy at a church. I never met him. And I go, you know, do you think you could come tonight and come with cameras and lights and microphones?
And I knew nothing about it. I
Jeff had no idea.
After office hours, I ran over to the center to do this, and I walked in, and Ange put one of these big microphones on my head like Madonna used to wear.
So it was amazing.
Yeah, and because of that, this went around the world, you know, even over to Israel on VHS and on DVDs. And then when we started Biblical Health TV, we decided that we would put it out on the web. And we've been streaming it over Biblical Health TV. People have bought a membership in it, but it was still shot on VHS. Yes. So we said, now it's time to come in.
That's desire of my heart to redo it. And so exciting now, and we're very grateful for the relationship we have with the V Moon Studios and Michael Rood and Biblical Health TV and all of it coming together. So we cannot wait to come live in the studio and present this.
Well, tell us briefly. We have a few minutes to talk about this. What are people going to learn when they attend the conference? What are some of the topics? What are we going to cover? What's the format?
You know, the first time around, you know, it really it was a lot of real meaty, great stuff about, health, foundational health principles. And we covered all the bases about, what you needed to do to get healthy, what was going on with your body when you got diseased and so on. But this time around, we're going to add so many more things really about, tell them about the things you're talking about. Identity.
Well, some of the titles, I have one called The Slime of Self-Sabotage. And that's really foundational, because if you're just going to keep throwing monkey wrenches in your life, then you can learn all the health principles in the world and you're just going to keep sabotaging. So that's one of the titles. Let me tell them another one.
Well, the bottom line is we're going to teach 24 different segments from as diverse as understanding your identity, who you are in the Messiah, to understanding what's going on in the disease economy around us, about what you mentioned earlier, Chaim, the details about what the Bible calls us to in holiness, the nitty-gritty in nutrition, the ABCs of nutrition and phytonutrition, acid and alkaline, exercise, and what I'm calling the true fountain of youth. How do you know what to eat, when to eat, and should you be a vegetarian, should you be a vegan, should you be a meat eater? And the whole picture about, we're going to learn about the nervous system, we're going to learn about the immune system.
Body cycles, food combining.
We're going
to be really packing it in a lot of short segments.
Yes. Risky natural health choices, how to make the change, how to leave this conference being able to know exactly what to do, step by step, to embrace what I would call biblical holism. How do you take all of what God has for you in every aspect of His Word and incorporate it into your life for true health, life, abundance, and holiness.
Well, what do you think people will get out of this? What is your hope that when people spend time either going through the conference, also of course we're going to record it, and those who attend the conference also get the recording of it. Hopefully you'll be with us for the whole time, but we'll get the recording. When people go through these, as we said, 20-minute modules and learn and have their paradigm shift, what are your hopes for them that they'll be equipped to do?
I'll answer first, but I think My passion right now in my life, because God's been revamping me in my personal growth, is really just that. Spiritual and personal growth is the foundation of anything you learn. Because like I said a little earlier, you can learn all about food and what combines and how to eat it and all that. But if you don't have the strength in your identity in God and the personal growth to have fruits of the Spirit, self-control, and things like that, then it really won't stand up. So that's really my heart's desire, is to see people leave strengthened in their faith, strong in their identity in God, that they are not going to be taken down by the enemy when trials come, and they will come. An ice cream, a party, whatever your trial is, it will happen.
If your worst trial is ice cream, you're doing fine.
You know what I mean, though? So we want to gird you up and help you be able to help yourself and help your body do what it does. You'll hear me say that a lot. So that's kind of my...
Well, the thing that I think for me, and I think, Chaim, you mentioned it, and you said the word paradigm. For me, I'm looking at this series as a life-changing, paradigm-shifting,
Yes.
ground-shaking event for people where they leave different. They can't look at the world the same. They can't look at what God called them to the same, their health, the abundance that God has for them, all the little decisions they have to make that they don't even know they need to make about their life and their health and the choices they're making. Want to open their eyes to those things so they know, I have to make a decision about what I eat. I have to make a decision about my exercise. I have to make a decision about what I think about myself. I have to make a decision about vaccinating my children. How do I take care of my nervous system? How do I fortify my body? Everything. And a lot of it's going to be eye-opening. It's going to be like, wow, I never knew that. And we're putting the final touches on some of these classes to really hone them in. The challenge for me is, how do I get them, as you know, how do I get hours and hours of teaching crammed into 20 minutes of pure meat?
Yes.
Pure meat.
Yep.
Organic grass-fed meat.
We have just about a minute left, so I have to tell people how to get more information. We have a website set up that we spent a lot of time on so that you can find out about it, because we want you to make a decision about whether this conference is for you. We think it is. If you go to lessonsforhealthyliving.com, www.lessonsforhealthyliving.com, and then put a /Rood, R-O-O-D, after that, because Michael, we did a special website where Michael has a message for you over there. And we have all the information. There's testimonials. I think that's the most important thing, is the testimonials that are on there. So because you want it to be effective, there is a fee for it, but it's for your whole household if you're watching it from home. If you come here to the studio, it's for one person, because we're going to be serving you meals both days. But we've sought to make it super, super inexpensive, bringing it into the studio. And if you attend it at home or live, you will have it in the archives forever to go back and watch these 20-minute modules. So please go over, check it out. And if it's not Shabbat where you are, go get it right now. Sign up right now and join us. It's just in 10 days on July 30th and 31st, 2013, here in Charlotte. And if you can join us, we have less than 30 seats in Charlotte. Please come join us. We'd love to see you. And that's it. www.lessonsforhealthyliving.com /2.0.
Yeah, well,
can I say one
thank you
last
very
thing?
much, Jeff and
we're
Andrea.
out of time.
Thanks for being on the program. Look forward to having you here. And if you are chosen to be one of the 30 that's going to be here, sign up soon.
You get to meet the Hazims.
You get to meet the Hazims in person. And it really is a treat. Great family. Good to have you here.
They're going to be on the show next week.
That's
They're
right.
Be up here. The next Shabbat Night Live.
Night Live.
So you'll get to finish your thought.